5 longevity secrets every senior should know. Simple, powerful, life-changing. What if living stronger and longer didn't require expensive treatments, but just 5 simple changes to your daily routine? What if the key to adding vibrant years to your life was already in your home, your habits, and your mindset? And what if small shifts today could help you walk farther, think clearer, and feel younger, well into your 80s and beyond? Across the United States, more and more seniors are living longer, but not necessarily better. Many over the age of 65 struggle with declining mobility, poor nutrition, chronic fatigue, and isolation. Falls, joint pain, and muscle loss have become normalized, leading to increased hospital visits and decreased independence. Despite medical advances, our day-to-day habits often hold the real power to determine the quality of our later years. In this video, 5 longevity secrets every senior should know, we'll uncover science-backed, easy-to-follow practices that can radically transform how you age. These aren't gimmicks, they're proven lifestyle strategies used by some of the world's longest living communities and top health experts. You'll learn how to rebuild muscle, protect your heart, strengthen your bones, sharpen your memory, and restore joy to your daily life without overhauling everything. If you find this video helpful, don't keep it to yourself. Like it, subscribe to Senior Health Source, and share it with a friend or loved one. Because healthy aging isn't about luck, it's about the right habits, shared and practiced together. Let's grow stronger, longer, one step at a time. Let's begin with one of the most powerful yet underappreciated secrets to longevity: exercise. Specifically, resistance training. Now, if you just raised an eyebrow and thought, "Isn't lifting weights for young people or athletes?" You're not alone. That's one of the most common misconceptions out there. In fact, it's one of the most damaging myths when it comes to senior health. Resistance training and strength building are not just for the gym-obsessed or bodybuilders. They are crucial tools for anyone, especially those in their 60s, 70s, or even 80s, who want to stay independent, mobile, and strong. Let's paint a picture. Imagine a 72-year-old woman named Elaine. She never considered herself sporty. She walked a little, did light gardening, and occasionally joined her friends for chair yoga. Then one day, she tripped over the edge of her carpet and fractured her hip. Recovery was slow, and the doctors explained it wasn't just the fall. It was her low bone density and weak muscle mass that made things worse. Now, here's the good news. Elaine's story doesn't end in decline. After physical therapy, she joined a local strength training class for seniors, where the heaviest weight she lifted at first was a water bottle. 3 months later, she was doing squats with a resistance band and lifting light dumbbells. Within 6 months, her balance improved, her energy returned, and she began walking with more confidence than she had in years. Elaine's story isn't unusual. In fact, clinical research backs it up. One of the most compelling studies comes from Australia's Lift More trial, Lifting Intervention for Training Muscle and Osteoporosis Rehabilitation. In this study, women over 65 with low bone mass were placed into 2 groups. One group continued with low-intensity exercises like stretching. The other group lifted heavy weights, safely, under supervision, with squats, deadlifts, and overhead presses. After just 8 months, those in the weightlifting group showed significant improvements in bone density, muscle mass, balance, and strength, even reversing some early signs of osteoporosis. Let's pause for a moment and think about what that means. For decades, the prevailing belief was that bone loss in older adults was irreversible, that once bone density dropped, it was a one-way ticket to fractures and frailty. But now, we know better. Lifting weights doesn't just preserve bone, it can rebuild it. And what about muscles? The body naturally starts to lose muscle mass after age 30, up to 5% every decade. This gradual loss leads to a condition known as sarcopenia, which dramatically increases the risk of falls, fractures, and loss of independence. Resistance training is the single most effective way to slow or even reverse sarcopenia. But you don't have to lift barbells at the gym to see results. In fact, some of the most effective resistance training can happen in the comfort of your home. Push-ups against a wall or countertop, squats from a chair, sit-to-stand movements, resistance band exercises for arms and legs, water bottle curls or leg lifts. Even starting with 2 20-minute sessions per week can have a huge impact. As your strength builds, your posture improves, your balance stabilizes, and your body becomes more resilient to injuries. Still wondering if it's worth the effort? Let's talk numbers. According to the CDC, 1 in 4 Americans over age 65 falls each year, and falls are the leading cause of injury-related death in older adults. But here's the hopeful part. Strength training can reduce fall risk by as much as 30 to 40%, simply by building the muscle power and coordination needed to stay upright. And there's a bonus. Resistance training doesn't just work on your body, it also boosts your mind. Multiple studies have shown that seniors who engage in regular strength training enjoy better memory, clearer thinking, and lower rates of depression. It's not just about living longer, it's about living with clarity, confidence, and control. So what's the takeaway? You don't have to join a gym or lift heavy weights to benefit. Start with what you have: a kitchen chair, a resistance band, a gallon jug of water. Move at your own pace. The key is consistency, not intensity. Whether you're 60 or 90, it's never too late to get stronger. In fact, the later you start, the more dramatic your gains might be. Now that we've tackled the importance of moving your body, let's turn our attention to what fuels it: nutrition. Because here's the truth. Even the best workout won't deliver its full benefits if your body doesn't have the raw materials it needs to build, repair, and thrive. One of the most overlooked yet critical elements for longevity is getting enough protein. Yes, protein. The stuff you've been hearing about since gym class. But this isn't about building bulging biceps or trying to look like a bodybuilder. This is about preserving the muscle you already have, maintaining your strength, protecting your bones, and ensuring your body can bounce back from injuries or illness. So, why is protein such a big deal as we age? Let me introduce you to a little-known concept called anabolic resistance. As we grow older, our muscles become less responsive to the protein we consume. In other words, your body doesn't build or maintain muscle as efficiently as it used to, even if you're eating what feels like a healthy amount. It's like trying to fill a leaky bucket with water. You need more input just to maintain the same output. Dr. Peter Attia, a longevity expert and physician, emphasizes this in his work. He recommends that older adults aim for 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day. That means if you weigh 150 pounds, you should be consuming around 150 grams of protein daily. Sound like a lot? It is, but it's also what your body needs if you want to preserve muscle, stay mobile, and age with vitality. Let's break it down with some practical examples. A large egg gives you about 6 grams of protein. A cup of Greek yogurt, roughly 20 grams. A 4-ounce chicken breast, around 30 grams. It adds up, but it takes intentional planning. Many people, especially women, find themselves under-consuming protein without even realizing it. Take Margaret, a 68-year-old former schoolteacher. She thought her oatmeal and fruit breakfast, light salad lunch, and simple pasta dinner were keeping her healthy. But despite walking daily, she noticed she was losing strength and feeling more fatigued. After consulting with a dietitian, she realized her daily protein intake was barely hitting 50 grams, a third of what she needed. By adding a protein shake in the morning, swapping her salad for a tuna-stuffed avocado, and including Greek yogurt with berries at night, she doubled her intake and started to feel more energized within weeks. Now, if the idea of hitting 150 grams through food alone sounds intimidating, don't worry. That's where high-quality supplements come in handy. Doctors often recommend whey or casein protein powders, which are not only convenient but also highly bioavailable, meaning your body can absorb and use them effectively. Whey protein is fast digesting, making it perfect for post-exercise recovery. Casein, on the other hand, digests slowly and can be a great option before bed, providing a steady stream of amino acids overnight. Both are derived from dairy and are complete proteins, meaning they contain all 9 essential amino acids your body can't make on its own. But supplements shouldn't be your first stop. They're meant to fill gaps, not be your entire foundation. Whenever possible, prioritize real, whole food protein sources like eggs, versatile, affordable, and easy to digest. Dairy, milk, yogurt, cottage cheese, and hard cheeses are excellent for both protein and calcium. Lean meats, chicken, turkey, and lean cuts of beef provide dense protein with additional nutrients like iron and B12. Seafood, salmon, tuna, and sardines offer protein plus heart-healthy omega-3s. Legumes, lentils, chickpeas, and black beans are great plant-based options, especially when paired with grains to form complete proteins. Tofu and tempeh, particularly useful for vegetarians and vegans. And here's a tip: spread your protein intake evenly throughout the day. Your muscles can only use so much protein at once, and studies show that consuming protein at each meal rather than loading up at dinner is more effective for muscle synthesis. In fact, one study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that older adults who distributed their protein intake evenly across 3 meals had 25% more muscle protein synthesis than those who ate the same total amount but skewed heavily toward dinner. So instead of a carb-heavy toast and jam breakfast, try starting your day with scrambled eggs and Greek yogurt. Instead of a sandwich for lunch, go for a grilled chicken salad with quinoa. And if dinner's your biggest meal, keep it balanced with lean protein, veggies, and a healthy fat like olive oil or avocado. It's not about perfection. It's about consistency. Fueling your body with enough high-quality protein isn't just about muscles. It helps regulate blood sugar, supports your immune system, strengthens bones, and even aids cognitive function. And when paired with resistance training, the results are amplified: stronger muscles, better balance, and reduced risk of injury. Now that we've tackled movement and nutrition, the twin engines of vitality, let's shift our focus to a third pillar of longevity that's often overlooked, but absolutely crucial: sleep. It's easy to underestimate sleep, especially in a culture that often equates productivity with staying busy. Many of us were raised on phrases like, "I'll sleep when I'm dead." But here's the twist: neglecting sleep might bring that reality closer than we'd like. Sleep isn't just a passive activity where the lights go off and the brain shuts down. In fact, it's quite the opposite. During sleep, your brain is flushing out toxins, your muscles are repairing micro-tears from daily use or exercise, your hormones are rebalancing, and your immune system is being fortified. But here's the catch: as we age, sleep gets trickier. You might find yourself waking up at 3 a.m. for no reason, or tossing and turning after a bathroom trip, or feeling groggy, even after what should have been a full night's rest. This isn't just frustrating, it's biological. Dr. Peter Attia, longevity expert and author of Outlive, explains that sleep architecture changes with age. We tend to experience lighter sleep, less time in deep restorative stages, and more frequent interruptions. These disruptions may be subtle at first, but over time, they erode the benefits we should be gaining from a good night's rest. So what can you do? Let's start with sleep hygiene, the foundation of healthy rest. And no, this isn't about brushing your teeth before bed, though that's still a good idea. Sleep hygiene refers to the habits and environment that support consistent, high-quality sleep. First, avoid eating too close to bedtime. Doctor suggests finishing your last meal at least 3 hours before you lie down. Eating late keeps your digestive system active, which can prevent your core body temperature from dropping, an essential signal that tells your brain it's time for sleep. In one study published in Cell Reports, researchers found that early time-restricted eating helped improve sleep efficiency and overall circadian rhythm regulation. Second, be cautious with alcohol. While a glass of wine may seem relaxing, it disrupts your sleep cycles, especially REM sleep, which is vital for cognitive processing and emotional balance. Alcohol may help you fall asleep faster, but it tends to cause more nighttime awakenings and poorer sleep quality overall. A study from the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine showed that even moderate alcohol intake significantly reduced sleep efficiency in older adults. Third, stick to a consistent sleep and wake schedule. Your body has a natural internal clock, your circadian rhythm, that thrives on regularity. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends, helps anchor your rhythm and improves both sleep quality and energy levels during the day. Doctor also emphasizes limiting naps, especially in the afternoon. While a short rest might feel restorative, long or irregular naps can confuse your body and interfere with nighttime sleep. Let's say you've dialed in all those basics: early dinners, no alcohol, consistent bedtime, and you're still struggling. That's when doctor says it might be worth considering melatonin. But, and this is important, only after your sleep hygiene is on point. Most over-the-counter melatonin supplements are sold in doses that are far too high. Many people think more is better, but in reality, less is more effective. Your brain naturally produces melatonin in micrograms, not milligrams. Doctor recommends starting with just 300 to 600 micrograms, about 1/10 of the standard 3 to 5 milligrams pill. And remember, melatonin isn't a sedative. It's a signal to your body that it's nighttime. It works best if taken 30 to 60 minutes before your ideal bedtime and in a dimly lit environment. If your sleep space is too bright, your melatonin production drops, even with supplements. That's why a dark, cool bedroom is non-negotiable. Consider blackout curtains, a sleep mask, and keeping the temperature between 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 to 19 degrees Celsius, for optimal rest. Let's not forget real people, like James, a 74-year-old widower who started struggling with sleep after his retirement. He found himself staying up late watching TV, eating snacks at midnight, and waking up groggy and unfocused. After reading Dr. Atia's recommendations, James made a few small changes. He switched to early dinners, stopped drinking wine after 6 p.m., set a regular bedtime, and began journaling in dim light before bed. He even tried a tiny melatonin dose after his routine was dialed in. Within 2 weeks, James was falling asleep faster, waking up less, and feeling significantly more energized during the day. Good sleep isn't just about how long you're in bed, it's about how restorative that sleep is. And for seniors, better sleep translates into sharper thinking, stronger immunity, steadier balance, and lower risk of chronic disease. So tonight, as you dim the lights and put your phone down early, think of sleep not as lost time, but as invested time, in healing, in resilience, and in longevity. We've laid the foundation with sleep, exercise, and nutrition. It's time to explore a powerful yet often overlooked pillar of longevity: emotional health. You see, aging isn't just a biological journey, it's also an emotional one. And while we often focus on muscle loss or cholesterol levels, science is increasingly clear: the state of your heart, not just physically, but emotionally, plays a defining role in how long and how well you live. Picture this. 2 seniors, both in good physical health. One spends most of their days engaged in community, sharing meals, volunteering, laughing with family. The other lives alone, rarely socializes, and spends long stretches in silence. Which of these 2 do you think is more likely to thrive over time? According to decades of research, the answer is clear. Emotional isolation and loneliness can increase the risk of premature death by up to 50%, rivaling the effects of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. And it's not just about sadness, it's about real measurable changes in blood pressure, inflammation, immune function, and even brain health. Dr. Peter Attia often emphasizes that a strong sense of connection and purpose is as crucial to longevity as any supplement or exercise plan. Why? Because emotional well-being fuels your motivation to take care of yourself. It encourages healthy behaviors, reinforces routines, and provides a safety net during life's inevitable challenges. Take the example of Margaret, an 82-year-old widow who found herself spiraling into depression after losing her husband. Her physical health began to decline, not because of a sudden disease, but because she no longer had a reason to cook nutritious meals or go for walks. That changed when her neighbor invited her to join a gardening group. Slowly, she found joy again in planting tomatoes, swapping stories, and watching her plants and friendships grow. Within months, Margaret's energy returned, her appetite improved, and she was back on her feet. It's a reminder that purpose doesn't have to be grand, it just has to be present. Whether it's helping raise your grandchildren, mentoring a young person, learning a new skill, or joining a local club, finding a reason to get out of bed in the morning is one of the most powerful longevity tools available. And here's something beautiful. It's never too late to begin. Studies from the Harvard Study of Adult Development, the longest-running study on human happiness, found that close relationships were the #1 predictor of health and happiness in later life, more than money, fame, or even genetics. So if you've been neglecting this side of your health, consider this your invitation to reconnect. Call an old friend, join a walking group, write a letter, find small ways to bring joy and meaning into your everyday life. Because in the end, it's not just how many years you live, it's how alive you feel in those years. And finally, let's turn to one of the most overlooked but potentially game-changing areas of longevity: how we use medications and supplements. While lifestyle choices like movement, food, and sleep often take center stage, the intelligent use of scientifically supported medications and supplements can act as the glue that holds your health strategy together, especially as you age. Dr. Peter Attia and other longevity experts agree. Medications shouldn't be feared, but rather respected and used strategically. Take vitamin D, for instance. It's not just the sunshine vitamin. It's a hormone that plays a vital role in calcium absorption, bone health, immune function, and even mood regulation. Yet studies suggest that over 40% of older adults in the US are deficient in it. Low levels of vitamin D are associated with a higher risk of falls, fractures, and even cognitive decline. That's why supplementation, especially for those who live in colder, cloudier regions or spend little time outdoors, can be a critical safeguard. Then there's omega-3 fatty acids, found in fatty fish like salmon and mackerel, as well as in high-quality fish oil supplements. Omega-3s have been widely studied for their anti-inflammatory effects. They support heart health, reduce the risk of stroke, and may even help slow age-related cognitive decline. Clinical trials show that older adults with higher omega-3 intake often maintain sharper memory and better brain volume than those who are deficient. It's no surprise that omega-3s are a staple in most healthy aging protocols. But the horizon of medical science doesn't stop there. Perhaps the most exciting frontier is a protein called klotho. This naturally occurring molecule has been dubbed the longevity hormone, and its levels sharply decline with age. Animal studies show that increasing klotho can reverse cognitive decline in mice and improve neural performance, almost like giving their brains a reboot. Now, early human trials are on the horizon, and if results are even partially as promising, klotho could represent one of the most powerful tools in the future of brain health and longevity. Of course, not every supplement lives up to its hype. That's why it's important to take a cautious, informed approach. Work with a knowledgeable healthcare provider who understands longevity science, not just someone prescribing out of habit. The goal isn't to pop dozens of pills a day, but to choose a few that are supported by evidence and tailored to your individual needs. In the end, longevity isn't about throwing every tool at the wall. It's about using the right tools with intention. Whether it's a morning dose of vitamin D, a spoonful of fish oil with breakfast, or staying informed about the next wave of breakthroughs like klotho, each of these small steps has the potential to make a powerful difference. So, as we reflect on these 5 longevity secrets: exercise, nutrition, sleep, emotional well-being, and science-backed supplements, it becomes clear. Thriving in your later years isn't about chasing perfection. It's about building momentum through small, consistent steps. Maybe it starts with a daily walk, a protein-rich breakfast, or reaching out to an old friend. But each action you take sets a new rhythm, one that moves you toward greater energy, resilience, and purpose. The truth is, it's never too late to begin. Even if you face setbacks, a heart attack, a fall, or a diagnosis, you can still turn the page. Studies show that seniors who adopt healthy habits, even in their 60s, 70s, or beyond, experience real, measurable gains in strength, mobility, and mental clarity. That's the power of taking ownership over your health. Right now, not someday. If today's video gave you something valuable, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video to let us know it helped. Share it with someone you love, because one insight could change their life. And subscribe to Senior Health Source so you never miss another tip, tool, or truth that can help you age better, longer, and stronger. We're here to help you thrive, not just survive, the years ahead. Let's walk that journey together.